Hey everybody, good morning. Happy 4th of July. I hope you guys have a great barbecue today. And we can't barbecue a lot because it's raining. Plus, I'm also at my store. We're actually open for today. We don't expect a lot of customers because I know a lot of people are shopping and all that good stuff. But anyway, so today I wanted to talk about part 4 of the Appsketier scam, which is the reviews. So let's start. Now, some of the reviews he does, there are a lot of them on Trustpilot, uh, and what he does is he makes you do the review in 1 week. I mentioned this before. He makes you do the review in the first phase. And a lot of the reviews you read are in the first phase. And when you read them, it's the same thing. He mentions all this. They mention all this nice stuff about them because this is where I say he shines. He shines so well at this point. He can take your ideas and actually put it on paper, make it look good. And he uses that against you because he's using you. So when I saw mine, I said, "Oh man, I was so excited! I did the same thing." So don't feel shame that you have to do a review and you don't see it because you're trying to help this team and go, "Wow, yeah, I'll do a review. I can't believe this is happening, man. This is great." Because you see something, you see yourself moving from a different level. But then later on, you realize something's wrong. So some of the reviews I read are like, working with Appsketier was awesome. They got what I was trying to do from day one and made the whole process smooth. They didn't just check the boxes, they went out of their way to make sure the app was exactly what I envisioned. Super responsive, creative, and easy to work with. Now, December 11, that's the time the review was done. So when you read these reviews, during the time when I was suing him, we mentioned that a lot of problems with the company, no communication, very bad communication. The he kind of twists your words. He lies. He doesn't give you the full product. He just manipulates your mind to move to the next level. Lies to you, and yet at the end, he's a scammer. So a lot of reviews after we started taking him on court. I told my lawyer, you notice all these reviews are coming out, but they don't say that they're creating an app. They're just kind of fishy because they're saying things like, "Oh, this is a great team," and they listen to you and they have a great. They're understanding my product and the process was great, and then they start using terms like they work for them, like, "Oh, the dynamic phase is like outstanding." You're like, well, what? Most people who are developing apps on our side don't understand the terms. And some things he did was he just started pushing it forward, and you don't even know what they're doing. But he says, "Well, we send you the paperwork." What does that mean? I don't understand. Like, what am I supposed to test? We're in a testing phase. You know that we send you the testing phase, but what do you do with the testing phase? We don't know now. We don't know any of that. So you have to send them an email and tell them you need to explain the whole testing to me, the email, what I'm going to look for, and don't let him call you and say, "Can we speak on Monday? Can we set up a meeting?" No, you need to email him and tell him you need for him to respond to you right now through this email, and let me know what is our intentions and what are we doing now. He tells you not to bother him on the dark when it goes to the dark mode area because they're busy. And by you going in there trying to change things is going to really mess up everything. No, it's not. No, it's not. You can actually call. You should be able to call because you're spending a lot of money. And you're not trying to get them to change things. You just want to know an update, how things are going, and there's some things you thought about. And if they can incorporate them, be great. If not, some things, you're allowed to go in there and say things. But during the testing phase, he doesn't say anything. And I didn't even know when my app was launched. I never got a letter saying, "We're done, Mario. Now you have 60 days to find any errors." There's nothing like that. So the more I read, it's like it's still the same. Here's another one. The Appsketiers are a pleasure to work with. The Appsketiers, like the Musketeers. So they don't say Appsketier was a great company to work for us, noun, adjective, and the Appsketiers, like the Musketeers. That just tells you somebody inside, because they envision themselves being, in that parameter of the Musketeers, I said, one for all for one. What did I roll in the last one? Appsketier's motto should be, every man for himself. That should be their motto. Every man for themselves, because he literally just lies to you. That's kind of funny. Here's one that got me, and I'm gonna look them up later because this is the time that we're taking them to court and we tell them everything is wrong, and all of a sudden this one shows up. Now they could be a real company, but I'll find out. But sometimes they have a favors. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you write a review? It's the way he wrote the review. He covered every single thing that we're complaining about. So check this out. Fantastic work. Over the course of 2 years, the team helped us work through the business model. That's kind of letting you know, in the 2 years, because we had the same problem. 2 years, he's not doing anything. He's not fixing anything. So he's saying, well, over the 2 years, because, he's supposed to be done in 6 or 8 months. Over the 2 years, he paid attention to us, making him look good. Oh, he doesn't have to do that. But he took the time, 2 years. Look what kind of guy this is. He took 2 years to still address issues. Nah, some of you guys know what I'm talking about. So throughout the business model, concept, marketing video, that's in the first phase. How would it take 2 years, through the business model, concept, and the marketing video? That's done in the first phase, second phase. Business guidance at development, stay with us through the beta testing and knocked it out of the park. I mean, it was done. It was knock it out of the park and with the finished product. So they get to do a review. Now, check this out. All the reviews are done in 1 week. 1 week, right? And the day that we sue them, this review comes out. Now this is funny because this person is talking about a review that took 2 years. So he comes in, he only has one review on Trustpilot. So that just tells me that there's no other review. He just came out of nowhere. So it is a company. So like I said, sometimes a company probably owes them favors. And it's just kind of weird to outline everything that we're complaining about. And this review comes in. Now, if I was that company before I research them, and I hope they're right, they could have a great app. And I'll be the first one to tell you, yeah, it was a real company. He got one. But this kind of fishy, right? Everyone won first phase. And this one comes out during the time of the court just to make him look better. Anyway, so the team does set reasonable expectations. There we go. The development does not take place overnight, and the team is fairly quiet during the coding and development. He's covering every single thing that we're complaining about. He doesn't listen. He's not there. He just, they're busy working. The team is very easy to work with. Everything I said, they're hard to work with. They're so easy, and the product is outstanding. That is great. The product is outstanding. What is your product? But first review, he's the only one that came out of nowhere during this time we sued him. That's very funny, And there's a couple other ones I see on 2025. There's reviews that came out in 1 week. But when you look at Trustpilot has a little statement about them. They sound kind of fishy with these reviews, that they don't answer their bad reviews. They don't go through all that, so he ignores them, But here we go. This is a bad one. And it's almost the same as mine, the same thing we're arguing about. So this one says that pay for the development phase in November 2022. Same time that other guy did it. They had the same time frame. He was developing an app at the same time because he said 2 years, right? He finishes in November. This guy's still trying to finish it, he in this time frame, which is October 2024, so 2 years now. Same person, but he has a worse review. Okay, but he's actually saying that what happened, so it goes on to January 2023, we agreed to the BRS. We're going to talk about that in the next video, how the BRS works. And it's incomplete all the time, so he can get away with not finishing it. But if you mess something on the BRS, then it's your fault, But it's not his fault when he changes things. I'm going to show you where he changes things in the next one. Appsketier lets you know they go dark during the development. This is a typical for development companies. Their typical check with stakeholders ensure developments on track. According to the BRS, to agree on changes should something not be technically feasible. For example, in November 2023, I was shown a demo for my app that was not fully functioning. The issues I could see were supposed to be resolved before they pushed the App Store. I know where this is going. uh, they uh, they just pushed it to the App Store, and I thought that was part of it because things were going to break down. But no, this shouldn't gone to the App Store. But on the demo, I asked about a testing environment, and I was told the only way for me to test my ad was for it to be published. I pushed back on that because it seemed weird not to have an environment, but they assured me that that was the only way. Not true. You should also be able to test your ad before it goes into the App Store. That's what they said. But the problem with that is that he doesn't tell you what's happening. He expects you to know. That's one thing that got me. He was talking to me in terms like, well, Mario, we mentioned because you don't know any of this. At AWS, you have to sign in. Now, what do they do? What is all this? He's just doing it. And at the end, you don't know what's happening, because so much of confusion. That's why I talk about the communication skills. Everybody's level is here. The whole United States level of communication is here. He's sunk to the bottom of the list. He has no communication. He just expects you to know it. Once the app was published, it became apparent the BRs had not been met. Same as mine. I ended up being bricked in the app from late November to January. Same thing. With a couple weeks, the app bricked again. Completely gave me a blank screen. Same thing. He's using the word brick, but I call it what do you call it? I call it crashing. It started crashing. In February 2024, I expressed my disappointment with the Appsketier team. Agreed that the app wasn't in a user-ready state, but they said it would make it right. They would make it right. Same thing. But I think they lied to him. Like they lied to me. They just tell you, oh, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna make this right. But they don't. They go to the next one. They're working on other apps, just getting the money. So all this time, this poor guy, he's trying to thinking that they're helping him. But I can guarantee that they were just sitting down and they just do something quick. 3 weeks, because they're trying to make the time fly so they can, because you have a certain time to sue them, and if you don't get it to that point, it's it's going to be, well, it's kind of late. So he's holding on to you. That's why he tells you, don't go to another team, don't take it somewhere, because then it's done. Then we're no longer liable. And in reality, if you think about it, they are liable if you take it to another team and you get a review on it, to show them. He's just stopping you from checking out the having another team look at it. But once you do that, if you're going to make that decision, you got to make the decision to sue. You have to make the decision that, okay, I'll take it to another team, because you're in that fork now where if you stay with him, the timeline is going. He's just keeping you there. He's not doing anything to fix your app. He's just allowing the time to run out. If you make that move to the left, then you probably have a chance getting a review and getting a lawyer. Do you understand? He doesn't want you to do this. So to me, I'm telling people, you really got to be brave, and that decision has to come from you. I cannot tell you to go to the other team. I cannot tell, hey, take that risk. I did it, but I did it in a different way. So I knew that if I go and I find this out, I had to make my move now, because I knew he was trying to trap me with all these threats and all this, the fear factor. You move, you lose everything, Anyway, so keep that in mind. In August 2024, I provided them with comprehensive review with the app and the BRS, including the overall goal, the BRS not being met. Same thing. I wish I met this guy before, Appsketier said the UX design should not be considered part of the BRS, though there are screenshots to the BRS of the design. Yeah, me too. I have showed them all this. In September 2024, Appsketier disagreed. The BRS has not been met and stated they would be withholding pushing the latest version until I remove my complaint. That is what I'm talking about. He is trying to, instead of coming here on Trustpilot and addressing the issues. I don't know if he addressed it, so let me go in a minute. Let me finish it. Then I'll see if he addressed the issues on Trustpilot. He's trying to address them on a separate, so he's trying to address them in a different fashion, so nothing's documented. So they're making threats to him, saying, "Oh, if you don't move this complaint, then we're no longer, going to push it to the latest version." But that's their job to get it to the next version. In September 2024, Appsketier disagreed. The BRS had not been met, and they stated they would be pushing the latest version until I remove my complaint. Something to keep in mind when reading through reviews, though everyone can draw their own conclusion. They're also suggesting that they will file a defamation suit through as a consumer. I'm entitled to share my factual experience based on my interactions with the product service per the Consumer Review Fairness Act. And I agree. You know, all this stuff he's doing is it's threats to scare you, right? But I just showed you that I took him to court. I did everything right. I didn't go and give him bad names. I did the review. We came out to show the world that Appsketier is a scammer. And he could take me to court. I'll bring that paperwork and show the judge. And I'll ask the judge, you're going to send a veteran and punish him for trying to save all the people from getting bamboozled by this guy, you know? And it's important to know that Appsketier says that by signing the release agreement, I was agreeing the BRS had been met. That's the BRS moment I'm going to talk to you about. He tells you, oh, the BRS doesn't mean that things have been met. It just means that we're moving to the next phase. So don't sign the BRS. Like, don't agree on the next level now. We're giving you that. If you're with them right now, don't sign it until everything's completed, man. You're like, he has the same problems I complaining to my lawyers. I made the belief publishing was the only way I could test my app. I did too. At the time I signed, I would have no way of knowing where the app and BRs were taken to. I had to take his word, basically. Appsketier also agreed in 2024, long after the app was published and the release agreement was signed, that the app was not in user-ready state. I'm not sure how it's possible for me to sign off on something I don't even have access to review. I simply thought I needed to sign so I could gain access. Exactly. My mind was more, you need to sign so we can move to the next level. It's all going to get fixed at the end. These are common problems. You know, you don't know because you don't develop apps. The app is called Social Coups, and I'm sure there will also be no issues pointing everyone to its example, the quality of work Appsketier delivers. Additional note, since I posted the above review on Google, Appsketier has reached out to publish the latest build on the app stores. Okay, so they published it. You know, I think during that time, we're still suing them. The latest builds does not fulfill the requirements, and the BR is citing a misunderstanding. Given the nature of the past several months working with them, I have requested a pause in our working relationship until the matter is resolved to the necessary channels. Yeah, he's using, buddy. You know, and I think because I think on the other side, he can't handle four lawsuits or four things. And I think the reason he gave you that is because we had him in court. And another one coming out, I think he apologized really quick to fix something, because if this guy came out, he doesn't know I'm suing. If he came out, it's going to concrete that this guy's a scammer. And I wish it would have gone the other way. Like, he would have just gone, and if I would have found me, he could have saw me and go, hey, you're suing him? Yeah, come aboard. Come aboard. We need you. You know, so, but, you know, I think that's one of the moves he did, because he know we're taking him to court. So anyway, so that covers everything. Like I said before, Trustpilot, if you look at the reviews and it talks about the company, they kind of call it kind of fishy how they're doing the reviews, man. Hey guys, that's it for today. I want to say thank you. Happy 4th of July. I was in the military for 24 years. I served my country. I was proud of it. And one of the things I want to do now is fight against these companies. And you know, I read where he says, oh, they're going to file a defamation lawsuit. You can't use a defamation lawsuit if you have proof, you know. And we went to court, you know, like my whole thing now is that when he offered me $5,000, he was going to waste more of my money instead of coming with a negotiation. He doesn't want to negotiate. He wants to make things hard for you. That's what his whole motto is. So I'm pushing as hard as he can. Now, he tried to do the same thing to me, defame me. We had no grounds on it. He's the one that's scamming. So, anyway, so if you had any issues with Appsketiers, you know where to direct and call me, man. Number 4, next video is on the BRS and how he pushes you to, you know, the things he tells you. None of it's true, man. Hey, have a blessed day, guys. Thanks.